Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 3, that is hydrosphere. Okay, so in the last class we discussed about the continental shelf, continental slope, deep sea plain, and oceanic deep or trenches. Today we are going to discuss about the salinity of ocean. Have you ever tested the sea water? Then it is so salty. And you know that Mahatma Gandhi had led the civil disobedience movement or Dandi March, which was one of the biggest freedom movement in the world. Why? We must be wondered about why the ocean water is salty. Why it is not fresh? And where does all the salt come from? Actually, the salt comes from the land. Because from millions of years, rain and river streams have washed over the rocks containing the compound sodium chloride. So, in the rock we can find sodium chloride. It is nothing but our table salt. And it is carried into the sea. Sodium chloride is a common salt. So some of the salt in the ocean comes from under the sea volcanoes and hydrothermal vents. When the volcano comes under the sea, different types of salts comes out and it mingles with the sea water. Okay. So when the water evaporates from the surface and the ocean, the salt is left behind. So like that, the evaporation is going on since millions of years, and these salt have been accumulated in the ocean. So salinity is used to define the total content of the dissolved salt in the sea water. What is salinity? Total salt dissolved in sea water. This is called as the salinity. Okay, sea water is called as the salinity. It is calculated as the amount of the salt in grams dissolved in 1000 grams of the sea water. So it is calculated per 1000. Per 1000. So percent means we are writing like so. Per 1000 means this is the per 1000 symbol. Okay, PPT, that means parts per 1000. So the general salinity of the sea water, is 35 per 1000, general salinity. And all the sea water contain large amount of dissolved minerals, of which sodium chloride or common salt alone consists of 77.8%. So like that, factors affecting how and what are the factors that affect the salinity of sea water? Factors for salinity. What are the factors that influence? The main factors are evaporation and precipitation. So, as the seawater becomes heat by the sunlight, it evaporates. Okay. In coastal region, by the freshwater flow, freshwater comes and mingles with the seawater. So gradually what happens? If you take a glass of water and some salt there, okay, so you taste it. It is somewhat salty. Like that, if you pour another two more glasses, what happens? Gradually the salinity will decrease. So like that, in the polar region, by the processing of freezing and thawing of the ice, winds are transferring the water to the another area, the ocean currents. These are the factors of salinity. So highest salinity, write down, the highest salinity is found at the highest salinity is found in Donjua Pond, Donjuan Pond. Donjuan Pond. It is in Antarctica. It is 444 per thousand. Per thousand part 440. What is salinity is there? With the highest salinity ever founded in the world, and the lowest salinity is Hudson Bay. Hudson Bay. It's in America. It is 3 to 15 per thousand. Okay. The highest and lowest salinity is this. Then isohyaline. What is isohyaline? Write down. Isohyaline. Isohyaline means a line joining the points in the ocean having the same degree of salinity. See, these are the earth is there in the different parts. So isohyaline means the line which joins the area with the same salinity is called as isohyaline. Okay, this is about our salinity. Then temperature of the seawater. As you know that temperature of seawater. As you know that the water becomes heat late and also becomes cool in late. When compared to the land, the temperature in the ocean does not show much variation. Okay. The activeness of the southwest monsoon in India is affected by El Nino. El Nino, southwest monsoon in India, okay, is affected by El Nino. So due to El Nino and La Nina, our southwest monsoon is affected by. Okay, these are the effects caused to change in the temperature in the Pacific Ocean. The ocean temperature is influenced by how the temperature is influenced with latitude, then winds, ocean currents, unequal distribution of land, unequal distribution of land. So these are the factors which influence the temperature of the seawater. Okay. Normally the temperature in the ocean varies from -2 degree to centigrade to 29 degree. Okay, minimum temperature usually. The highest temperature is recorded at Red Sea. Highest temperature is recorded at Red Sea. That is 38 degree. Okay. As one goes deep inside the ocean, the temperature decreases. If you go deep into the water of the ocean, it decreases. The final in the temperature is very steep for first kilometer. After that, there is a steady decline up to the depth of 5 kilometer. Steadily, if you are going on, and below that, after 5 kilometers deep into the sea water, it becomes still, at 2 degree. Then ocean currents. Okay, so in the 7th class, you have already read about the ocean current. Okay, ocean current means what? Ocean current. Ocean current means the general movement of mass of water in a fairly defined direction is called as ocean current. The ocean currents are sometimes called as ocean rivers also. Ocean currents may be classified based on the temperature as ocean currents. Are two types of ocean currents are there. One is cold current, one is warm current. Okay, generally warm currents. So what is a cold current? Cold current and warm current. So cold current, this is our earth, from polar region to equatorial region it flows, polar to equator. Warm current flows from equatorial region to the polar region. Okay, warm current. What are the factors responsible for the ocean current? The factors are centrifugal force, effect of wind, precipitation, solar energy. Okay, these are the 4 factors which influence the ocean current. What is the centrifugal force? The centrifugal force at the equator is greater than that of the pole because of the great circles of the time and revolution coincide with the equator. So if you are going for the centrifugal force, here this is our earth, this is equator, these are the poles. So near the poles, what do you say it? Greater than the poles. So equator, near the equator it is greater than the pole. Okay. With the equator, the variation of these factors make the equatorial water to move toward the pole. As I told you, warm currents move from the equatorial region to the polar region due to the centrifugal force of the earth. Then effect of wind. How the wind affects? So if you are going for the wind, the stresses due to the wind and the wind movement modifies the direction of the current. So the direction of the current is modified by the wind, because the wind has a force to push up the water. Thus, a wind at the speed of 50 miles per hour will produce a current whose velocity would be 0.7 miles per hour. So, when the wind blows at the speed of 50 miles per hour, then it can create the movement 0.7 miles per hour of the current, ocean current. Then precipitation. Equatorial areas receive the great rainfall. Equator, here equatorial region, heavy rainfall will be there. What is the precipitation? How the precipitation? Equatorial regions receive the high rainfall, hence the sea level is higher. As a result, water moves the north and the south from the equator. So you can see here, I told you the warm currents. So here the rainfall is more here in the equatorial region. That's why sea level is more here. So the more water that moves toward the polar region and which create the warm current. Then solar energy. Heating by the solar energy cause the water to expand. Then when anything is heated up, then it expands. Like that the water is also expanded. That is why the ocean current is about 8 centimeter higher in the level in the equator, near the equator, because due to getting the high rainfall and as well as heavy sunlight. Okay, so more sunlight, it is expanding. So 8 centimeter more than the other areas. This causes a very slight gradient and the water tends to flow down the slope. Then other factors, so these are the main factors. Other factors are also there, like salinity, density of difference, melting of the ice. So all these are the factors which causes a ocean current. Okay, let's now go to the ocean as a resource. So ocean, if you see here, we get a lot of things from the ocean. What are the resources we get? What are the resources? First we get a salt. Salt we get minerals like petroleum, seafood. Okay. So many other things. Most life on the earth is under the water. Human beings still have not finished identifying all the different forms of life in the ocean. Human beings have depend on ocean for their food and livelihood from the ancient time. If you go back to our history, we can find that man usually depend on water for their, particularly sea water, for the livelihood. Ocean provides abundant food resources, seafood, like fish and salt. We also use the sand, gravel for our industries and the housing. Human extract minerals like chlorine, different minerals we get, minerals chlorine, fluorine, iodine. Ocean waves are also generating power. One more thing we are getting from the ocean is power. We get power. We generate power from it. Ocean floor is a mined for oil. So in the minerals we can find the oil also. Okay, natural and petroleum gases also we can find. Ocean also provide us with the gems and fuels. Valuable things like gems and fuels. Fuels we can find from the ocean. We have created our civilization on its shore and traded across. So it is also helpful for trading. Sea route. Helpful for sea route and trading. So all the helps we can get from the ocean. And today ocean have also fallen victim of exploitation. Many large fish like whale have been disappearing. So we are killing these whales, whale trading. Okay, oceans have also become a dumping ground for the plastic and other forms of toxic waste we are dumping there. So it is the sea water is wasting now. We are wasting the sea water, polluting the sea water, causing death to the animals, those who are living there, because we are dumping the toxic things there. Okay, so if you want to live for more years, we have to depend on sea. That's why we should not pollute the sea water. Okay, students, so the lesson is completed. I will send you the main points of this lesson. Okay, and as well as the textbook copy of this lesson. Thank you.